This is Abnormal Entertainment.
There is nothing like watching a movie on the big screen, and with MoviePass, you can see unlimited movies every month from Abnormal Entertainment. Head to abnormalentertainment.com and click on the MoviePass banner to get your first month free. And after that, it's only $30 a month to see unlimited movies, even on opening day. Go as many times as you want. Have a blast with MoviePass and abnormalentertainment.com.
On the no one cares. They have to say that cause it's not them anyway. They scream, please, please, please. No more cinema head cheese. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Cinema Head Cheese Podshort for Hot Girls Wanted Turned On. This is Kevin Moyers, and no, this is not a sexy docu-series. I mean, kind of, I guess, but not in the way that many might hope. So, in fact, if that's kind of what you're looking for, this might be a real bummer. If you watch the original documentary, Hot Girls Wanted, which was co-produced by Rashida Jones, who you know from The Office, Parks and Rec, her cop series that she has on TNT, TBS, one of those. I've seen it. It's kind of Naked Gun-ish, but I can't remember. You might also know her from Quincy Jones's Loins, because that is her dad. I think, is it Peggy Lipton is her mom? I don't know. Somebody like from the Mod Squad or some shit. Anyway, I don't know. But she co-produced this documentary called Hot Girls Wanted, and it went into kind of the world of porn recruiting, the way it is now. And that came out in 2016, and it was really interesting. It showed these young girls, focused on 3 or 4, if I remember right, and basically one company that was recruiting them. I do see that in episode 4, we see a little bit more from the company. The guy that heads it up sort of looks like a doofier Michael Rappaport. Think about him in Higher Learning, like that kind of doofusy, but like more bro-ish, and like, you know, I don't know, I make porn, bro, but sort of that's what he reminds me of, like his caveman-y brother. But I noticed he is in episode 4 of this series. Now, it's a 6-part series. I will be honest, I've only watched the first 3 so far. But I did feel that's enough for me to review it, because it is equally as good as the original documentary. And of the 3 that I've watched, none of them lags behind the other. They're all equally interesting. The first is about women working in the industry and kind of directing, more or less. And they focus on a couple different directors. One in Germany. No poop stuff. Don't worry. And she and her husband run a company. She's more the head of it, and he kind of backs her. He's like her VP, more or less, in that role. But she's trying to make more realistic movies, things that look like actual sex would look. And she dips into a lot of fantasies from fans. She's got a whole series of can you tell where I'm from? She has a whole series. I correct myself, thank you. Of movies that are based on specific fantasies that people have. Fans will write in, female fans will write in their fantasies, what they dream about, whatever it is, and she will try to recreate it on video, which is really interesting. They were working on one where the woman was a pianist, and there's a guy underneath the piano taking care of her, different things like that. People in the audience going at it. So that was one of the things that they featured, and she had to find a woman who was in adult film that could also play piano, which was kind of funny, and she did. But there was also a woman who's a second-generation photographer, and she also directs. Her mom was a well-known photographer for Playboy and Penthouse, and talked about her struggles coming up, being kind of the first woman to do this. So that was really interesting. The second episode is about Tinder, Bumble, those kind of things, the apps that are out there and how people connect with that. And that focused on a guy who's 40, lives in Vegas, and he's dating different women and stuff like that. The funny thing to me in the beginning of that is they start with a woman that he's been dating. She's like, I've been seeing him, and I assume we're exclusive. And as soon as she said, I assume we're exclusive, I went, nope, that's going wrong. And, of course, I'm right. You can't assume this stuff, people. You cannot. So, yeah. So she was all hurt feelings and mad at him, and should have been mad at herself a little bit for making an assumption. But, that was the whole thing. And then he's dating this other woman who's 15 years younger than him, and I can speak from experience. Sometimes going younger is not great. So, not that it's all bad or terrible. Not that, it doesn't work sometimes, but sometimes you're at different places. So, it was interesting to watch that. Maybe it spoke to me a little bit because I'm the same age as this guy, but I don't know. But he's a different kind of person than me. It was just interesting to watch the whole thing kind of progress, and focusing on specific people was interesting there too. The third one went kind of into the recruiting lanes again, and that took us to L.A. The original movie was in Miami, and this took us to L.A., and it was a woman who recruits. She's only 24, and she works with an agent who's this older guy, like glasses at the end of his nose. He's got a ponytail. It looks like he tied it 7 years ago and never untied it and never fixed it since, and it's just kind of bunched up under this weird hat, and he's frumpy and just old, and it's gray, and he looks ridiculous. He looks like if you were to write porn guy character, like that's what you do. And it focused on her and a couple of the young women that came out to do this stuff. And one was, I want to say, 20, and then she was out with drugs and drinking and the whole thing. You have to check it out. But it was kind of about how you can decide what you do in this industry. It's up to you. You don't have to, be taken advantage of by directors who are just like, hey, I want to make money. I want to put you in this or that or whatever. So that was interesting. The next three I'm equally interested in. The fourth one, I was watching the third late and fell asleep. I rewatched it because I didn't get through much of it. So I did watch the whole thing, but I woke up in the fourth one, and they were talking about The Money Shot, and it was a whole episode on that for an hour. And they showed a girl, like, sitting there on her knees looking up, and them putting it's coconut oil and a couple of, like, a concoction they made that they squirted on her face out of like a soft soap pump, and it looked pretty, legitimate, but it was kind of like, who's sitting there going, we need to make jizz. Can we work up a batch without working up a batch? And so there you go. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's a weird thing to wake up to. I'm going to tell you that right now. I was like, wait, what is this? All right. Yeah. So anyway, that's what happens when you fall asleep on your couch some days. But again, the series is interesting. I'm looking forward to watching the next three. I almost said excited. I didn't want you to take that the wrong way. But this is not a sexy time here, people. Although I do imagine that some of the people that are in the videos that are featured probably get an uptick in hits on their Twitters and Facebook and stuff. Like, the girl in the third one that kind of went off the rails, it's a little sad. I don't think I'd ever look her up, because that would just, that would be upsetting. I'd be like, oh, the whole time. I am an old man. It's happened. But I don't know. I don't mean I'm laughing at me, not at her. Obviously, it's a mess of a situation. But anyway, check it out. It's really well done. It is a good series. They're only 6. They're an hour apiece. And once again, Netflix, they do something really interesting and really good. And I'm glad they expanded on this, because it fascinates me to look into worlds that, we hear about, we know about, but that I'm no part of, and it can be anything from, the cop, like the 7-5. That's a side recommendation here. I know I reviewed that a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure I did a Podshort. It might have been a written review, but either way, I know I've reviewed it for the site. But that's about corrupt cops in the 80s, and it's crazy. So anything like that that's not in my world that I can really dig into, and it can be made interesting to anybody, that's great stuff. And this series is so good. And go back, if you haven't watched the original, watch the original first, and then get into these. If you've already seen that, if you liked it, you're gonna like this. So, Hot Girls Wanted, Turned On is what it's called. And who knows if we'll see more in the future? Maybe, but if not this, I would like to see this production team get into other topics, because this is really interesting stuff, and the way it's put together, it keeps your mind going the whole time. So it's good stuff. So good job to Rashida Jones and her crew. I hope they continue their work. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to head to abnormalentertainment.com. Check out all of our shows. Check out cinemaheadcheese.com. Boy, I'm having a brain fart, aren't I? cinemaheadcheese.com for all the reviews. Sometimes, we put press releases up there, so you get some news, and of course, more pod shorts, and maybe a full podcast here and there as we get to those. But these tend to be it most of the time, so check all that out. And also listen to Masterpiece Theater. There will be a short going up very soon about our May Madness bracket. Now, Handsome Jay over there put together a bracket of comic book movies, and we are going to have them listed in a PDF form that you can fill out. You can create your own bracket and send it in, and Frankie G, whoever gets the best bracket, gets a $100 Amazon gift card. He's putting that in. So that's something, right? He's going to the mat. He thinks he can beat you. He's putting up his bracket, and we're all going to try and get our brackets up there and get that going. But if you think you can beat him, head over to abnormalentertainment.com/Masterpiece Theater or abnormalentertainment.com, the main page. I will put the post up there as well, so you can get your bracket, fill it out, and send it in. It's going to be pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. See who does what and who gets it going. And while you're at it, if you're into wrestling, check out Frankie G's podcast, Kayfabe, with Frankie G, of course, and get your wrestling fix. So good stuff going all around here. But thank you again for listening. I do appreciate your time, and I will see you next time. Subscribe and download back episodes of Cinema Head Cheese the podcast, and read all of our movie reviews and news at cinemaheadcheese.com. Email us at cinemaheadcheese@yahoo.com. Search Cinema Head Cheese on Facebook and tweet us at CINHeadCheese. And for more podcasts, books, comics, blogs, and videos, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.
Don't have time to grocery shop? Let Shipt do it for you. Shipt lets you put in your order and brings your groceries to your door in as little as an hour. All you have to do is sign up at shipt.com and enter the membership code ABNORMAL, and you'll get $10 in free groceries on your first order. Save time, get what you need, and leave the shopping to Shipt.